Okay, so here we are, Ref Lounge in the second part. We're going to actually talk about a little bit of midweek action last week because it's going to start off actually at the Sheffield United and Newcastle game because we've spoken but not seen each other since, where we discussed it before the season, we've discussed it at the beginning of the season that this would happen, and in last week's show I asked the question, that flag going up, does it make that split second difference to the pause, and that was at the Leicester game, does it make them think just a split second, and in Thursday night we see it, and it's true. There you go, the flag's gone up, it marginally it turns out onside, but one of the things on this one is to just add on a few things. Stuart Atwell follows up. I know everyone says he's gone to blow the whistle. I do it every week. I think, oh no, hang on a second, let's carry on.
Yeah.
And he does that, and he's sprinting. So I'm sorry, if I'm a Sheffield United defender and I see the referee still sprinting, I already know that I've made a bit of a boob on an S1 and stop him. But that's years and years of them having assistants in the academy system and everything else, and they've always gone off the flag. It's not like on a Sunday morning, play to the whistle, you're 7 years of age, play to the whistle.
There's no doubts that I think that, again, the Premier League and the PGMOL have to just review their operation. When we look at the experiments with VAR and the procedures on that and the processes, the FIFA and UEFA come to decisions after a lot of experimentation and a lot of input from, in UEFA's terms, 54 nations, including England. So I was surprised by the fact that in England we're doing it different to other countries, where other countries the assistant is encouraged to keep his flag down. I mean, I'm not defending the point. I will make the point always, it's play to the whistle. But in reality, professional players do stop on a flag.
Then you've got somebody like Sean Massey. So if you take the Chelsea-Aston Villa game and Abraham's first goal,
yes,
it is so close, but once again, Sean's flag is down.
Yes.
She's given that completely. And if you watch her now, the speed of these players nowadays, and she ain't the tallest, and she's keeping with them.
I think that, look, in England we've got a reputation for having absolutely top class assistant referees over many years. Class assistant referees.
So, somebody like Sian, we've mentioned her a couple of times, will she go to the World Cup, Men's World Cup assistant referee? Because I think she is our number one at the moment. Well, her and Darren Cann at the moment are our top two.
Well, Darren Cann, of course, has got the badge.
Yeah.
Got the medal.
He has.
Doing the final. And he is an outstanding assistant referee and a really nice guy away from the pitch. Because you can have a real good conversation with him about the procedures and all that goes with it. I don't see any reason why someone who is capable of doing the job at the very highest level
consistently
transfer. From an assistant point of view, she's a match official. Gender doesn't come into it. At the very highest level, it's about performance, and I think sometimes the English game doesn't necessarily support sufficiently the women's sort of officials. Given the past, I think that's changing.
Yeah, I think it's definitely changing, and I think it's it's spot on. So, but going on to the weekend, we've mentioned the Manchester derby and the unsavoury side. Let's speak about the football itself, because it was quite breathtaking to the speed of that game on there. I would love to know what Anthony Taylor's distance was, because it's got to be 12k easy. It's got to be 12k easy.
Comfortably.
But how many sprints he's done, I would love to know. But it was the tale of penalties.
Yes.
4 possible, 1 given. So there was 3 not given to City. So we had the first one was Lindelof, and it hit his thigh. We're already on the ground, and it's hit his thigh, and it's come up and he's hit his arm. And you can't give that. It's a deflection anyway.
Correct.
So, and you can't give that one. The other one was the bigger shout was Fred, because his arm was going down. to the ground, but if you actually notice, he actually runs in with his arms. I don't know if you can see this on camera. He runs in his arms there, but he has to put his hand out last thing.
Yeah. And that's covered in the laws of the game, specifically, where a player is going to ground and he puts his hand out to prevent that impact and the ball strikes, then you're not going to give a penalty kick in any way, shape or form, because in a sense it's not deliberate. But then the change on that referees have to look out for is, does he put his arm out laterally or vertically? And that is the subtle change that match officials have to look for.
Plays a cracking advantage. Don't get me wrong, he's got this one-arm advantage I can't get used to. One-arm advantage, but he plays a cracking advantage which leads to a good shot. It doesn't lead to a goal, but it is a good shot. So, and then the other thing I was really impressed with him was when Pereira come on and did that really naughty challenge. It was his first kick, touch, tackle, whatever, just straight yellow. There's none of this, it's my first one, ref. It was spot on.
I think we're seeing a change in Anthony Taylor this season. I think that, and with a few referees, I think the confidence levels is suddenly beginning to rise a little bit. And confidence is massive in any form of sport. And I think Anthony Taylor, he got the just rewards of that extra effort, that additional effort. Did you notice when he played that wonderful advantage, and it was, and he didn't milk it dramatically, he suddenly continued his run. And he continued his run and followed it through. And it was almost like, look at me, I'm in touch with this game, I'm absolutely on the button. And I think for what I would say is a Manchester lad, but he's registered in Cheshire and all that goes with it, and all the dangers of a local referee refereeing that match. It reminds me a little bit about of Neil Midgley. I think that he's got that ability to talk. He's got officialdom. He's doing quite nicely. Good performance.
It is, and do you know what? It was great to see. So the other one, Everton Chelsea. We had that particular game on there, and there was another one with Abraham not being offside, where he was obscuring Pickford's view, and Pickford went for it the same time. That was another good decision by the assistant, because it were onside anyway. So, but it was correct that had he been offside, that I think that would have been ruled out, that for obscuring the view on that goal. And I thought they did pretty spot on that one. So Spurs and Burnley, Kevin Friend. Oh, did he have to shift for Son's goal? Did you see? He were on his toes. As soon as he saw Son cross the halfway line, he were gone, Kevin Friend. He had to be.
I mean, it reminds me of many goals like Maradona. We saw one of Ryan Giggs years ago. Terrific to watch. I mean, it just lifted the whole sort of stadium. If you're a Spurs fan, but it was good and a good piece of refereeing. But
did you notice how he changed his angle? He didn't follow it.
Correct.
He didn't follow play. He actually goes, and you see him just start. He don't go that far off line,
but he drifts.
But he goes
to get the angle,
and he goes to get the angle. But he also has an advantage to goal as well in that particular one. He does the 2-arm advantage. So I'm Kevin Friend's friend today. Does the 2-arm advantage on that one as well. So, but he's changed his game as well, and
his running pattern.
His running pattern's changed.
If you notice, one of the things that he was doing last year and beginning of the season was holding the line between two attackers. So there was the attacker in possession of the ball, perhaps looking to pass to his colleague on out left, and Kevin would have run into that space, preventing it. And this is another sort of reason we talk about movement, positioning. Don't cut off the opportunity of forward players or players passing the ball.
It's been good, especially the advantage to go on that one. So, what I want to hit on is someone who's had praise from us, and that's Martin Atkinson. The Watford game, and there's a bit where Troy Deeney he's fouled in the area. In my opinion, it's a penalty.
Yeah.
His arms all over him, he's on
Yeah,
top of him.
yeah.
I think if he's coming over the top, I can kind of go with the no penalty verdict. But the arm around it is the selling thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, he prevented him from making a challenge for the ball. And therefore, I think it was disappointing. The other disappointing bit was the caution of Saha for what he considered to be an act of simulation.
Right.
What I, on review, said, look, that's a foul.
Yeah.
So, you know, what we've got to be careful of here is that Saha has a reputation of going to ground quickly, and I've seen that a number of times, but don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Judge every challenge. Don't judge reputations. Be aware of reputations, and then you're better prepared.
Yeah. So, but have referees got reputations in their head when they're walking on the pitch at that level?
If referees have not prepared for games at the elite level, then they're not doing the job.
Right.
Because they need to understand who the substitutes are, what are the likely tactical changes,
Yeah.
you know, and how do you cope with those? Because all of a sudden, you know, the shape of the team might change, and from passy, nicey, suddenly becomes long ball.
Yeah.
When it becomes long ball, you've got to be prepared to now put the distance in to cover it. But, you know, the whole aspect of going professional refereeing is that 90 minutes shouldn't have any impact, really, on the physical presence of the referee. They should be fit, mobile, and able to cover a couple of games on the bounce, really.
So I like how you say about the impact of substitutions, because I speak to a lot of referees, and particularly the grassroots, and they'll say, I had the game in the palm of my hands till the 80 minute, and then it just all changed, and I ended up struggling for 10. And when you talk about fitness, they don't talk about fitness. What they've not done is acknowledge that there's been a change of shape and a change in tactic, even on the park on a Sunday morning. And they're not acknowledging that. And that's something I would say to all grassroots, is that when them substitutes are being made, prepared for a change.
Do you know, it takes an age to build a reputation.
Yeah.
Takes an age in a game, because you could be in the 80th minute and you've done everything right, and you're looking at somebody giving you a good mark here, or your own reputation being enhanced, and it can all fall apart in a minute. And that's the nature of the games that we referee in. And, you know, don't relax. And somebody used to say to me, look, Aki, it's not a cup final. Well, I used to say it is.
Every game.
Because every game's a cup final.
So the I think this is a brief one. Liverpool-Bournemouth, or Bournemouth-Liverpool. Chris Kavanagh, he's just getting better and better and better.
Well, I think he could be in the top 3.
Okay.
His decision making is good. His player management is good. But I'll tell you, he goes flat-footed. And what I mean by that is, he suddenly wants to stand and admire rather than be on his toes, ready for a breakaway. So for me, there's a little bit like him and Craig Pawson that could be, in my opinion, 20% better referees if they understood about the movement, positioning and dynamic sprinting that sells decisions. They're both very good decision makers. If they've got a view and they see it, then generally their decision making is accurate. It's the selling bit that they probably say, why are you going on about that? Well, the reality is, if I'm benchmarking Kavanagh and Pawson against Oliver and Taylor, then you begin to understand why I'm talking about the movement profiles.
And it is, and the thing is they must look at their data, because they'll have their sprint numbers and everything and their average speed, so they must look at that and go, hang on a second, if I'm a second below them, then what do I need to do that? So sprint speed is something that they could work on. So they would have a coach that could actually say, let's go and work on sprint speed.
I brought a running coach in.
Right.
But the measurement is, because you've got a lot of analysis at Premier League level, is what was the differential between the movement of the players and the game and the referee.
Right.
And it's that gap often that visually you can see, and take it from me, having watched thousands of games and been involved, sadly, I can see some of the shortfalls.
Yeah.
But a good referee coach, you know, and I've sat amongst the best, you know, Dilks and Trevor Simpson and Rob Harris. These are guys who pick those things up
Yeah.
and then get the change. So for me, I think that I'd just like them to put a bit more effort in. Stop going flat-footed.
Yeah.
Be prepared. Stay on your
To
toes.
move. Yeah. So yeah, I get that. So the Norwich Sheffield United game yesterday, we had our first.
Oh,
Simon Hooper refereeing it, and we had our first overturn of a red card. And I've seen it,
yeah.
and at full speed, I'm going red on that. From his angle, I immediately look at that, and I look at his angle, and I'm going red. I've looked at everything, player reaction. I know they over elaborate nowadays and everything else. You've used the word milk it. Am I allowed to use the word
Yeah.
milk it? And I see it. Then you see the other angle, and you go, "Oh no, it's a yellow." Straight away on there. So I'm not saying he's wrong. I think he's correct from his angle. And as we all know, when you look at different things, it all is about angles for referees.
Absolutely.
But VAR did its job then.
Yeah, I thought it was right. I mean, he's come out quickly with a red, so he's sold it. He's stopped any potential mass confrontation, and then he's got to go through the process. And not easy now. I mean, he's only into his third, fourth game on the Premier League, and he's still learning the ropes, and you can see that he's a little bit lost at times, you know, and you know, you worry about confidence and all those aspects. So he did the job,
Yeah.
right, and VAR did their job even better,
Yeah.
because they came in and said, look, that's reckless.
So, and I'd like to think that all fans and everybody who's watched that a little bit of appreciation for how hard refereeing is,
and it
because from that angle, from the camera angle, from his angle, that's a tough one. That is a red. I'm
Well,
quite,
I mean,
but the other angle, you've got to remember. But in saying that, could his assistant have been helping by shouting down there, fourth official, who were all on that side? Could they have been given, this is a yellow, it's a yellow, trust us, this is a yellow? I know that's the same thing as what VAR's gone to.
Well, I would have liked the VAR to have done that.
We've also got a monitor there on the side of the pitch, which would have been nice if we'd nipped over and gone, oh yeah, it's a yellow.
Sold it.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I think on that one, the pitch side monitor would have been absolutely ideal.
And I think it is, and I'd like to think, they've said they're going to use them. I would like to think that that's one of those that they're reflecting back on today, saying actually that's the type of one that I think we need to go and look at and have a look. I know Peter said it's a red, it's a yellow. Sorry, I know he said that, but I think that would have been a good one on that.
Selling,
one.
isn't it?
Yeah,
it's the referee retains his decision.
He does,
and
yeah.
the sympathy of the fans will go, well, from one angle it looks red, your point of view, and from another, the VAR, it's yellow. But it's his decision.
It is his final
It's
decision.
almost like saying, well, somebody's told me I've got it wrong. And psychologically, and I just go back to my own career, I don't think I liked anybody saying I got it wrong.
Yeah.
You know, because during the match, I think I've got everything right.
Yeah.
Because it's a confidence game, referee.
I've been in the crowd when you refereed, you didn't get everything right. But the other one we've spoken about was also the Villa game, which was Michael Oliver. And there were a couple of things in there, such as Grealish on the simulation doesn't get a yellow.
I was disappointed. You know, there was just a little period in the game when it became a bit loose. You know, foul or non-foul, player on the deck, then another one, and another player on the deck, and like moaning, and then another one, and you're thinking, just put your foot on the ball, Anthony. Michael, put your foot on the ball. Stop play. Don't take the risk.
Yeah.
The Grealish one, look.
Our simulation there was a red as well. Well, everybody thinks he's a red, which is Target. Is it? Is that his name?
Well, here what you've got is you've got the player moving towards the touchline, and he's taking him out big time, and his foot's high. Right. And Michael Oliver has not got the view.
Yeah.
Because he's looking right down the channel.
Right.
He's no chance of getting a view.
Yeah.
But he's deemed it a yellow. Right, you know, very clearly it's a red.
Right.
and it should have resulted in a red. And, you know, again, you suddenly think, well, does the VAR protocol come in? Serious and obvious error, it's a red card.
It depends on what they say, because they do communicate back, and this goes back to the Troy Deeney one as well.
Yeah.
As he turned around and said, yes, I can see his arms over him, but he's stooping, so therefore there's no actual impact on that, and if that is what I've seen, well, they can't overturn that, because it's not clear and obvious then.
Look, you know, when you are, and you consider that you're number one referee, right, part of being number one is to take the criticism and learn from that criticism, or bin it. So if he's watching this, can say, right, disagree with you, I'm 100% right, I've had a look, fine.
Yeah.
Right? But they do need to reprise these incidents in order to say, what could I have done? Was I too close to play? Could I, you know, where was my assistant? Because I think it's the assistant looking down the line that could have come in.
Yeah.
But see, the other side of it is this. When you are 1, 2 or 3 in refereeing terms, top of the league, right? Sometimes that builds in, if you like, the assistant referee saying, well, it's him, I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
He's closer to it, I'm not coming in.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at the past, the likes of Can with Howard, he would say, Howard, from where I'm saying, that's a red.
Yeah, I'm just going straight.
And leave it with Howard to make the call. And Howard had the trust in Darren Can to say, if you're saying it's a red, it's a red.
It's a red, yeah.
You know.
And I think the transition's there as well at the moment with the referees, because they are changing the game. And I think there is a bit of transition, and seems to be a bit more freedom in them and what they're doing, where they're going the extra yards. And we spoke about the running patterns and stuff like that. But I think it's great to see, but there's another one, and I want to just shine a little light on this particular referee, because he's another one. I think, like, Chris Kavanagh's ahead of him, and I think Chris Kavanagh's really starting to improve. But David Koo, and he doesn't seem to be getting the games, and I have an issue with that. But it's who am I to have an issue with? But David Koo, whenever I've seen him, I've got no issues. I think he's a safe pair of hands.
I agree with you. I mean, I think 6 games when Martin Atkinson's had something like 14.
14, yeah.
Look, I know we've got to bring these referees on. The thing about Coote has a completely different style of refereeing to me, but that doesn't mean to say he's not a good referee.
Yeah.
He is an outstanding referee.
Yeah.
And the thing about him is, if you notice, he's in with the game, his concentration's good, his movement's good, but how he operates so low key.
Yeah.
He don't, you know, I used to get accused, you're stealing the game, you want to be the star, and all those sort of things.
Yeah.
Right? There's none of that in him.
No.
He's just like efficient.
Yeah.
And at times super efficient. And I think to myself, you know, there are referees with that type of energy, that type of ability that you go, he's a good referee.
He is, yeah.
And I come away every time I watch him and I think, he's a good referee.
Yeah.
He's building.
Yeah,
so
he did the Sheffield Derby, didn't he, last year as well?
Yeah, give him the games.
Yeah.
Give him, you know, why is he down there? I can't understand why he's only had 6. Because he's a better referee than that.
Oh,
you know?
I think
you can say, well, let's put him on a par with him and all that goes with it.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
So, and one final referee to mention, and that's John Moss.
Yeah.
Brighton Wolves, spot on.
Well, did you notice he was moving out wider?
Yeah.
He was moving out wider.
More comfortable, confidence.
Yeah, fine. And he was in contact with play.
Yeah.
So it was a good performance. Yeah, he's got a good personality.
Yeah.
You know, you saw him smiling and interacting with players. So let's chalk it up.
Yeah.
A good performance by John Moss.
So it was really good, and it's been a difficult weekend, so I'll mention it out there, the fact that he owns a store in Leeds and someone's come in and took his FA referee's top. He doesn't have much memorabilia towards his football in there, but that's one of the things they've done, and they've gone there, and I really hope that they find the culprits for that, because he earned that. Yes. You don't take them things. Those things like that. Those stuff. I put something out the other day on Twitter, and I can't as a referee who've done as many games as I have, and you've done as many, referees earn that, and you've got no right to take it. You know, they work hard and they go through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to that top.
When you see these PGMOL referees training, and the sweat's absolutely rolling off them, then you know that they're putting the effort in. But you also know that, look at the minefield that we all go through as referees.
Yeah.
One day it's great, the next week we're down on our knees because it's not gone well. We eat, sleep and breathe the game.
Yeah.
We watch our colleagues. We always want our colleagues to do well. You know, and he's had some tough times. He's had some hellish criticism from me as John Moss. But I know that off the field, he's a terrific person. And if anybody, really anybody, has been approached and somebody says, look, there's a referee's shirt here for sale, or if they're scanning eBay or whatever, then pull that up, please, because he deserves to have that back.
100%. So there we go. That's the end of Ref Lounge for this week. Hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to give us feedback on Twitter. Anything you want us to discuss, we'll happily do it. We've got so much we want to share with everybody. So please come back next week and tune in. Thank you very much.